Good evening, folks. Mark here in the Fan Cave. It is 8:40 p.m. Sunday, June 25th, 2023. This is an Autumnaire weather beater, brand new in the original box. Now it falls under the blanket of Airmaster, made by Relite, and this is a British fan. Now, the difference between a weather beater and a regular Airmaster Mark I, this is designed. It seems to be designed for residential usage. There's a picture of a little, patio here on the box, but it's definitely designed for outdoor applications. There's a gasket and a little disc surrounding the motor, and a heavy-duty electrical cord. So I have it hitched up to the original junction box and rotary control, variable speed, solid state control. It came with it. So let's take it for a test spin, shall we? I've probably discussed this ad nauseum. However, these are definitely one of my favorite childhood fans. I was ecstatic to get one new in the box. I don't know, probably 7 or 8 years ago now, and showed up on eBay. And I actually feel kind of bad about this because there were, I saw it and I had asked the seller if he'd do a buy it now, and he wouldn't. He wanted to go through to see how much we get, which I understand totally, but I didn't realize at the time, because I had sniped it for I forget, like $150 or something, and I think it was Mark Welker had ended up with it, and so that was me that had driven up the price. And if you're watching, Mark, I do apologize. I did not mean to drive the price up on you, but as soon as that was sold, another one popped up with the same seller, and I think it was like $50 or $75 or something. So and nobody outbid me on it, so I was able to scoop it, and I was very ecstatic to get my hands on a new one, because when I was a kid, there was a grocery store in West Peabody, Mass, called Mal's. It was an independent grocery store. It's where the Big Y is now. And in 94 or 95, they switched it over to a Shop and Save, and they ripped out, had a drop ceiling with a whole bunch of these fans, and they were all like yellowed, and ripped out the drop ceiling, and instead of reinstalling the fans further up on the on the beams of the exposed ceiling, I mean, I understand why they have that like factory ceiling look. I mean, it looks pretty cool, but I kind of wish they had hung onto the fans. The really strange thing about those relights at the store, I've never seen any like this since then, was instead of these ice cream cone canopies, it had the pyramid, like on the Airmaster Mark 1s. I mean, the, whatever it is, the Crompton Greaves Airmasters, it had that dome. And I'm guessing they were like Friday fans, or maybe, on the transition from making these to making the Crompton Greaves, and they had a whole bunch of those canopies left over, and so they just said, a whole bunch of these motors left over, and they just said, I just roll with the newer canopies, and they're industrial fans, nobody will notice the different styles, and but I vividly remember these, at that store, the flat bottom with the with the domed canopies that had yellowed, and no idea. I'm sure the fans all just got thrown out, sadly. But if anybody's watching this that has one that they were able to salvage from that place, I will gladly buy it. I will pay handsomely for it. But let's take a better look at this control. Now, this is brand new. Still has the original covering, and I had unplugged it, but came with the whole junction box and everything. And we'll get a better look at the fan here. Yeah, there was also a at the Topsfield Fair in the art building. They had they had 4 of these on each each part of the ceiling, basically in the quarters of the ceiling, a big square room. So they had 4 of these. I'm trying to think where else I saw them as a kid. I know that they had them at Salem Willows. I'm sure check out E-Man fans videos of those. I don't remember them being there. I remember seeing them around as a kid, but these are scattered all over Salem Willows. I'm trying to think of where else. There was a bank in Melrose Center that had one of these in the in the center of this really high ceilings. Just one of these way up, like it's probably not going to do much way up there. But I almost crashed my car once when I was in college. I'd come back for the I don't know, it was for a weekend or something, but and I just happened to be driving down Main Street in Melrose, and I slid the sunroof shade open so I could look up, and these big windows, and you could see the fan up there, so I could look up, and then as soon as I turned my head back, the cars had stopped in front of me to let a pedestrian go, so I had to slam on my brakes, and came within inches of hitting the car in front of me. That was, bear in mind, long before they had these automatic braking things. Now the car I've got has that, where it would stop itself. But back then, no, it was one of my regrets is not paying enough attention back then when I was driving. But live and learn. Anyway, there was another bank that had these in the executive offices somewhere, and you could see it up on the second floor because the ceiling would go all the way to the top. And this was where the Eastern Bank is in Saugus now on Route 1. And I have vague memories of going there because they had this huge table that was covered in pennies, and with pennies glued down, and I loved that when I was a kid. And then you'd look up into the under the second floor. There was a maybe the third floor now that I think of it, but there was like a you could see up into the offices. It was big high ceiling, but there was like a balcony where you could walk around or whatever. And they had the executives' offices up there. And there was at least one of these Airmasters I remember looking up and seeing. So, I remember from my childhood they were nice fans to see. And, I'm glad that, ceramic bottom here. And, I was glad to get my hands on this one. And subsequently, a couple of other new in box Airmasters. Well, one new in box, one just new. And anyway, and then I have 3 used ones as well that I might be willing to part with for the right right price or the right trade. But the new ones, I'm not going to part with these. These I'm hanging on to. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Stay tuned for more fan videos. Good night and good luck.